I must admit that I find the vision and the direction that Ronald Reagan laid out for this country to be very powerful and very compelling. And I'll tell you, Ronald Reagan would have never raised taxes like Mike Huckabee did. Ronald Reagan would have never said, let's give tuition breaks to illegals like Mike Huckabee did. Ronald Reagan would have never stood by and pushed for a budget that more than doubled during his term as president. Mike Huckabee, as a matter of fact, has a very different record than Ronald Reagan, and I'm pretty proud that my record stands up quite well.
I think that Governor Romney's trying to distract attention from what is clearly a mistake that he made. But, you know, the big mistake that he made was crime went up, violent crime, and murder went up while he was governor. And I think that that is something that talks about not just an isolated mistake, it talks about a series of mistakes.
All right. I guess the basic charge is that while you were governor of Massachusetts for 4 years, violent crime went up under your watch.
You know, Mayor Giuliani seems to have some difficulty with statistics. I got to be telling you, he needs to go back and look at his numbers. Actually, violent crime came down when I was governor, came down 7%, according to the FBI statistics. So he's just wrong on that fact, as he is on a lot of supposed facts he brings forward. As they say, facts are stubborn things. Violent crime came down. And I don't take credit for that, of course. The mayors of towns and cities are the ones that have police forces and are responsible for violent crime, by and large. I am proud of the fact that I increased our state police force quite dramatically and also brought in place a very professional office to do DNA research and DNA testing. We more than doubled our support there. So I'm pleased at what we were able to do. And his facts are just simply wrong on that front. And, you know, I must admit it's strange to have him bringing forward my selection of individuals to serve judges and so forth when he's got Bernie Kerik all over him these days, when someone he knew was under investigation. He recommended to the president to be the Secretary of Homeland Security. That I find a position, if you will, throwing stones from a glass house is never a wise thing to do. He's going after your selection of a judge, Kathy Tuttman, who released the convicted killer on parole, and he went out and then killed another couple, and saying this demonstrates your lack of judgment on a judicial nomination. You know, that's a real stretch, and I think it's disappointing for him to take a personal tragedy like that and try and stretch it all the way to me. I appointed some 60 judges. This particular judge had served for 17 years as a prosecutor. Everything in her background suggested she would be a law and order judge. I spoke with her and assessed that she was committed to those things, and she made a very bad error in judgment. But I think it's a stretch well beyond reality to suggest that I'm responsible for all the decisions that all the judges make that I appoint. Well, I don't think Guantanamo is a symbol of American weakness. I think it's a symbol of American resolve against these terrorists who would attack us and attack our friends throughout the world. We frankly don't want to bring terrorists onto United States soil and have them in our prison system and have them insisting on lawyers. That's not the right course for these people that are engaged in fighting against us and in launching attacks against us. That's why we have places outside our country for those persons to be held. Look, when Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the supposed or so-called mastermind of 9/11, was captured, he said, "I'll see you in New York with my lawyers." And that's not what happened. He saw instead CIA interrogators and GIs in Guantanamo, and that's the way it ought to be.